he lives through it. The kid's seen so much. And others will be like, that's one tough kid. But then they'll just sort of like let him go. But as you walk on, you will hear something. You will hear something that will sort of be out of the norm for you. You're not really sure what to make of it. Let me see if I can find that real fast. Where have I lost it here? Oh, there it is. I will can your music as you're walking along with your friend here, your ally, your newfound ally at that. You will hear something. It starts off very low at first, but it has a way of getting into your soul. Just sort of begins this drum up. It's strange. People tend to stay away from this area. It's muted by the aged wood of the building front. You can't help but be drawn to it. As you near, there it is again. It's strange, almost belly dancing darbuka music. It's caught your attention.
I'm gonna put a firm grasp on Cort real quick. Be like, do you hear that, Cort?
Cort's gonna recognize the music, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you couldn't.
Yeah, Cort has been felt up far too many times to the same music to not recognize it. Cort, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Mr. Sasha's place at out of character. It's the Shining Tome?
Yes, it is the Shining Tome.
Yeah. It's the Shining Tome. It's one of the few people who we're friends with, but we kind of owe her a lot.
When you say owe a lot, is that like, you know, a few hundred pieces of gold, or are we talking about maybe a favor that might get you killed kind of owe?
Yes.
Cort's just gonna kind of look at him and not really say anything.
I'll take your silence as a yes. How about you let me do the talking on this one? Let's go see what these people, you know, they sound like they're a lively bunch by the music that's going on. So
I mean, that's one word to describe it. And then Cort's gonna shuffle the blind man on over to the door. And then
take his lead.
Then knock upon the door.
Sure. You're led to the door. You can feel the rhythm at this point. It seems to be like almost emanating through the door at you. It kind of gets in, like I said, into your soul. It drives this point home. Before finally the door is swung open, and there is a masked figure. A man probably about 5'6", 5'7", every bit of about 240, 250 pounds. But he wears it all in his gut. He looks like this almost very Winnie the Pooh-esque character by design. But what is bizarre to you is that this mask seems very bizarre. Like it's very tall, it's elaborate by design, but it seems to like almost exaggerate all the features. There are some very like natural bits to it, like straw here or feathers that seem to decorate the top. But the man is topless, and he is wearing what might be akin to a series of flower tops draping around his waist. And the moment that he sees you, it takes him a moment as he like kind of peers the head around, but then like he tilts the head down and you can see a spot where eyes are coming through, these almost piercing blue eyes, and the hands come up in this like grabby motion.
Cort's just gonna kind of give him a solemn like.
He sees you, and in that moment you see that the hand go and like wave to the side, but then they kind of come out, and though you can't see it, you feel these hands grab onto your wrists and sort of slowly guide you in, pulling back as the music grows louder and louder and louder.
Cort's gonna turn his head. Daniel, this is Charlie.
Charlie, you can't. I'm gonna just kind of wave. Hey, Charlie, pleasure to meet you.
There isn't anything that is said up to this point. You can tell Cort that his eyes are trained, and he seems to be looking because he notices that Daniel's eyes are closed. And he takes a moment and waves the hand in front of the face to see if there's any response.
That's why we're here, Charlie.
He looks to you, and there is like this almost like hurt head tilt. The whole mask dramatically shifts as well, and then you hear the young of leading the blind now. Well, dance with me, big boy. And you feel these hands hit your hips and start swaying to the left and to the right to the music.
We're just gonna kind of stoically do it.
You can hear the boots of Cort next to you, or of Cort next to you. They seem to also similarly be almost trying to find this rhythm.
Just a shuffling.
Just
like, I don't know what I'm. Like, it's
Poor
rude if I
depressed
say
boy.
no, but I can't. I don't want to. Oh no.
I guess as this happening, like, so he tried to make me dance, right?
he didn't try. He's doing it.
Oh, okay.
He literally like he has, you can feel his grubby little hands on your hips. And it's not like the kind where you'd expect like a thief, right? The thief to be grabbing on to a purse or anything like that. No, you actually feel them sort of like pinch
He's holding on to your hand.
pinch your hip and your handle, and he's trying to guide you to the music. Thank you so much, Unicorn. I appreciate that, buddy.
I'm just gonna kind of be like, not sure what we're doing here, but I ain't one for dance, and it's not really my style. Sorry.
Another one with no rhythm? Cort! I thought that you would bring someone a bit more informed.
My rhythm isn't necessarily in dance. It's more of, it's a bit darker than that. We'll just go with that.
Oh, in the bedroom, perhaps.
Not exactly.
Oh, you're no fun. Well, he can't dance and he can't play around. There's no humor. Fine. He cans the music, moves over, and swipes at this small instrument that seems to be playing a memory of a record. And he shifts back, leans on the table, and kicks the mask back. Well, Cort, it's good to see you, no less. To whom do I owe this pleasure?
Daniel Martin, pleasure to meet you. Well, you said your name was again, I'm sorry.
Daniel. It's a very strong name, Daniel. I like that.
My mom named me. She wanted a girl, thought it would be closer to Danielle or Daniela, but, you know, surprise, surprise.
Well, our parents wanted similar things, but they were blessed differently, weren't they?
Seems that way. Yeah, it's
It's unfortunate, but I understand. Welcome to the Shining Tome. I am Charlie Miles. And curious, what's got you blinded? Is it since birth, or is there something more going on?
bit recent actually.
Recent?
It's
Were you dusted in the eyes?
no, dusted would have been probably a much easier way for me to work with this. This is more of a archaic manner, we'll say.
Archaic manner. Well, what did you didn't see your grandmother naked, did you? You blinded me once.
Nothing quite so gruesome, but
Gruesome indeed.
try to look at something that I guess I wasn't supposed to and paid the price.
Multiple grandmas, then.
If only if it was that kind.
Oh, no, it couldn't be that. I would see claw marks at your eyes. You would certainly have torn them from your own skull.
Probably.
So, you didn't just happen to wander here. Because, of course, he's very clearly depressed. Don't know what's got the boy down. But there's something else that's drawn you here, yes? Was it the music? It was the music, was it? You felt it. It brings a
Yeah.
certain rhythm in my life.
I wouldn't lie. It turned my attention. It kind of drowned out the rest of the town. A little unusual, but
Everyone just assumes that it is some sort of hedonistically driven sexual music, but I assure you, aside from the fact that it brings mere joy, I play it because the rest of the town is rather dismal. It's grey, and everyone is sad. Every single person has fallen on worse times. But you don't know what terrible is until you fall under the tutelage and control of Mistress Sasha. It can be
or
rough.
encounter a black dragon.
I wish it were that simple.
Cort's just gonna kind of look at Daniel and then look back at Miles after he says the Black Dragon comment.
Did you just squeak, Cort? Are you gassy?
Oh, it was my stomach. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cort's just gonna kind of look down at his stomach.
Well, that's new. Impressive. How did you do that, this act of ventriloquism? I'm very interested.
I don't really control what it does. It's just kind of.
I say the same thing about mine downstairs. I can't control it. It's got a mind of its own. There's that smile I like. Boy, bring yourself here. And he moves in very quickly and gives you this midsection hug. But as he wraps his arms around you, he pauses for a moment. There's this very close and sensual hold, but his eyes train up to yours for a minute. Is that me or you? What's vibrating?
I hope it's me.
Glances back down to your gut. That's new! How did you do that?
I took a spectral scythe to it and then had my internal organs melted, and then Keegan Gelv made me this.
I've had all that happen once before as well. We've got names for everything, don't we?
It's actually partly why we're here and partly why Cort is so upset.
Do you need some ointment? I happen to have some left over.
Ointment's not going to fix what happened, unfortunately.
Well, go on. Tell me more. What seems to be a bother to you?
Keegan's dead.
Should I be concerned or worried? Should I tell Mistress? I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Do you know what a bloodstone is, or the vanishing?
No, I have experienced some vanishing in my past. A few lovers
We
forlorn.
watched Keegan disappear in front of us.
Was it a magic trick?
It wasn't magic,
Hmm.
or at least not a trick.
Well, I'm sorry. I do not know. My condolences. You seem rather sad.
I think they were pretty close.
I'm sorry, boy. I will lay off on the innuendos and the assumptions to your bedroom candor. At least for the day, I can give you that much. Would you like some food? You're still croaking, creaking, whatever that is.
We'll probably get a bite to eat on the way back, but I was wondering if you could possibly help me out with this being blind bit.
Yeah, you would have to tell me exactly what's happened to make you blind.
The short part of it is I looked at a gem that
Tell me
had,
the long part.
well, that's going to be the difficult part. It's a
She
lot
looked at
of,
a bunch of chains.
Slower. I said I would stop with him, not with you.
well, not we, Cort's friends decided to test a spell or something on a ruby size of like a grapefruit almost.
Hmm.
They hit it with some magic, and next thing I know, all these chains come tearing out of it, and the gem is just floating there.
You said
Uh,
grapefruit sized and chains.
yeah, and their friend Ulhime
Piqued my interest.
vanished. We're not sure what happened to him, so we're trying to figure out how to get him back. And Thelsa, she's off talking to somebody. I guess the mayor. I'm not sure.
Cort, where did you find this one? I've not seen him before, yet he happens to have all of the details.
He's new to the city, but
Are you a chronicler?
Nothing quite so glorified. I'm just very observant.
That's not the case. My lad, you're blind.
Let's just say not everything needs to be seen to be noticed.
There are a lot of puns with you, yes? I like the way you think. He starts moving his fingers in. And Cort, you can see this. But he starts, like, imitating where his chest might be, and he's guessing where his nipples are. I would say
Quartz is not gonna. It's just another Charlie thing.
about there. Really? No, he's really blind. Well, I can't. Personally, I am not so deft in some of this spells of sorts, but I know someone who can. It does come at a cost. Do you have coin?
My trade isn't really necessarily to deal with coin, but what is it that you're looking for, and I'll help you find it.
Like a sleuth, then, an investigator.
That's a kind way to put it.
Ah, a cut purse, a brigand.
A little bit. I dabble.
Hmm. I seem to have lost my dignity. I've dropped it right at your feet. Will you pick it up slowly?
You want me to pick up your dignity?
Yes. Yes, I do. It's just a test, a trial, if you will. Cordy seems to throw, like, he looks you like, you glance down, and he's like lobbed a handkerchief on his boot.
Can I
Watch this fucking transpire.
can I do a perception check for that to see if I feel it?
You want to feel a handkerchief through your boot? I mean, sure. Let's see it. This better be a fucking monstrous roll. Man's got tremor sense.
I want him to fucking nat 20 this of all times.
You don't feel it, but you don't sense him lying either. I mean, you can tell his intentions are kind of all over the place, but it doesn't really look as if he is immediately trying to pull one over on your eyes. Plus, Cort isn't gonna let anything happen to you, as far as you can tell.
I'll just try to feel my way on the floor, because if I don't see it, I'm just gonna assume that it's like somewhere nearby, and I'm gonna try to feel for it.
Okay, when you like lean down to pick it up, he seems to like take his foot and kick it out to sort of like drum up some air to have it move, and you feel it just grasp between your fingers briefly before something like air kind of moves it. But you know the direction that it's gone.
I'll move my hand a little bit forward to try to reach for it before.
Sure. You start to reach as you've been down, and Cort, when you're you're watching this, you can know that Charlie's playing some kind of bizarre game. You're not really sure what exactly his intentions are at this point, but he seems to be circling, like he's maybe trying to find a weak spot, a chink in the armor, if you will.
Cort's just gonna kind of sit there and chuckle a little bit for like the first time since being in here. He's just gonna kind of sit there and laugh a bit.
Okay. You can tell that he's sizing him up. He's looking at Daniel like he's a full course meal at this point. Daniel, you hear Cort chuckle. He's not very good at stifling it back either.
Gotcha. I'm gonna kind of straighten up. My mom used to play a joke similar to this when I was younger.
I thought you said you've only been recently blind.
I wasn't always the best at what I did.
Oh, lad, sorry. Daft as well. That's terrible.
We all got to start somewhere.
It's true,
Uh,
it's true. The first step to being great at something is being terrible at first. You should have seen when I lost my virginity. It was absolutely dreadful. I'll never forget that horse.
Wow. I'm both sorry for you and the horse, or I guess whoever felt it worse.
C'est la vie. Time since gone and past. Well, very good. You seem to have found your handkerchief. That's my handkerchief. And I will take you to the person that can fix your eyesight. Bear in mind, because you lack coin, you will likely find yourself indebted to a lifetime of servitude. I mean, a brief favor.
How about I owe you a favor and you vouch for me?
No, I don't think so. My life is no longer my own. It's been forfeit for about too long.
What would you do to have it back?
You play a dangerous game. You can hear his tongue, like, gnashing over the top of his teeth. I like this one, Cort. Don't get him killed.
No promises, seeing as he's with our group.
Well, if you were to somehow buy back my freedom, or you stumbled upon a trove of sort where the bauble modeled after me were to be located, I would owe you a very handsome amount.
Keep your money. It's not what I'm after. I much prefer to deal my services with, let's say, favors of sorts. I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
And I will. Willingly. You won't have to owe me anything. Well, come, let's go. You've now piqued my interest. And I think I would be willing to vouch for you. It will not be fun, but a game we all play. Come this way. He seems to grab the mask under his left arm, and he moves his way back behind some beaded curtains as he passes by. And it takes you to a series of steps. I'm not allowed down there, but just tell her that Charlie has a debt to pay. She'll understand.
Understood. Have a good dance, I guess, while you wait for us. I'm not sure what it is you do.
Oh, I'm eagerly awaiting your return. I'd love to finally see the color of your eyes. For reasons, of course. Good luck. Don't die. And he lets the beaded curtain fall, and darkness swallows you back up.
Damn. So he's just like gone, right? Like he left?
Yep.
Cort, you got yourself a very interesting ragtag of friends, and I'm honestly trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing with you all at this point.
No, don't worry. It's only going to get a little bit weirder from here.
Now, I want to know, before you guys descend down there, I want to know what Thelsa is doing.
I also plan on going and paying her a visit.
Oh, boy.
Interesting. Okay, sure. When you arrive at the doorstep, the music is off. The door not fully closed. You hear some voices inside, one of which you recognize as Cort and Charlie. You overhear Charlie's typical series of jokes and innuendos, these quick pulls and pits at sexuality. But then you hear Daniel openly admit that he's willing to take a favor for a favor. And Charlie seems to drop that very joking candor. And it's honesty. Do you enter into the room whatsoever?
Not until after they've gone downstairs.
You stop hearing them, and you'll hear the beaded curtains sort of like fall back onto ways.
And once I see that Charlie's closing the beaded curtain again, I'd take my way in.
Okay. You enter back in, and he seems to have immediately, like before turning around, redonned that mask that I was just briefly describing. Before he fumbles his way and puts a hand onto the counter, he seems to be trying to find the apparatus. He has not actually seen you.
I want to slowly walk over, and if he hasn't found it, turn on the music.
Okay.
Play the funky music for the white boy.
All right. Sure. You do that. You find him looking for this. You have an idea about what he's looking for. This isn't the first time you've seen him turn this on or off. And when you move over and you flip it back on for him, he pauses. The hands come up in this like, oh shit moment. And he quickly pulls down the mask and like clutches it to his chest, almost like out of fear, like very classic style, like woman, like, ooh! And then he sees that it's you and he's, oh! You scared the daylights out of me.
My most sincere apologies. You can't see much in that mask, can you?
I wasn't expecting to have company. At least
Well,
more company, and typically they
yeah.
knock.
Yeah, I saw that you were busy, and I figured I'd let Sasha have another favor. I owe her at least that much.
Well, you just happen to miss your allies, Cort, Boy Wonder, and the blind thief, I believe.
As far as I'm aware, that's who he is.
Very well, very well. Would you like to see your way down?
I'm gonna spend a few minutes here with you, if that's all right, until they've returned. Frankly, I prefer to talk to Sasha alone. It makes things easier for me.
Very well. Shouldn't be a problem. Would you care to dance?
I would love to.
Okay. You see a smile just like tear over his face, and the eyes like it gives you that like the Jack Black like wide-eyed stare of like, yes, it's coming. And then he flips on that same music, pulling the mask back up, redonning, and it's just like hip sways, and he's like flipping the flowers back and forth. He has no idea if you're even dancing. You could just be watching him at this point. But he's in it. He's in it to win it.
I mean, I gotta learn one day, right? It's gotta happen.
Okay. Friends that are descending into the depths of the Shining Tome. I give you Ocean's Depth. You can hear and feel this hum throughout the room as you descend step after step after step, before eventually a single light comes into view. And it seems like it's another 130 or 150 steps away. And there's no way, Daniel, even blinded, you know that at this point, this far and as long as you've been walking, it would have taken you into the depths of the volcano. You have no doubt in your mind. You feel no heat. You feel no thrum from the resonance of the volcano's depths. The only thrum you feel is the steps in front of you from Cort.
Cort, where the hell are we? It feels unnatural here. This place doesn't sit well with me.
It probably is unnatural, but I don't really quite know where we are either. But I know at the end of the staircase we'll run into Sasha.
Let's go meet up with your friend before something. Just kind of like, I mean, like, I'm not looking. It's just more of like a habit of like looking around. Just kind of more of like a surveying of like listening while I'm moving my head. Let's keep going before I don't know what leaps out of wherever the heck we are and gets us.
Yeah, Cort's gonna just kind of look into the eternal void that is where we are. I don't really think we have to worry too much about that. And he's just gonna kind of keep walking forward.
Is there any more small talk before you reach the bottom?
No, I'm just gonna have my hand on his shoulder and follow him.
Nothing from Cort in particular.
You reach a point where your footfall sounds no longer hollow. It sounds like this stern, bitten back, brittle stone, and you can tell that you're on something different. It shifts, it moves, never giving way, but enough to show you that you're on something different. Cort can see that it's coin. It's gold. This platform is covered, littered in bizarre baubles, trinkets, doodads. But gold, as far as the darkness will allow you to see.
Cort's just gonna kind of go, Miss Sasha, are you here?
It's at that time that you can hear this breathing, this strange depth. Yes, I'm here. You hear the sound of coins shifting, writhing as if someone is counting frantically, moving at it.
I'm gonna kind of like shift my position, like as I hear the coins moving. Like, can I follow that noise, like as she's moving around like that? Or does it like echo too much?
Give me a perception. It's a very, very good roll. Under normal circumstances, you would just be able to see where this was coming from. But the area is very different than what you may have come to understand. You've walked for a while. You know that you're deep within the bowels of this volcano. But this is not the volcano. The swelling ambient tone seems to hit your head. It's like you're in a room that seems to reverberate noise, but it also deafens it. You hear the thud from within inside you, the of your heart. You can feel the pressure swelling over your ears. You can hear the sound of your eyelids clipping together when you blink. The fluid movement inside of your mouth. So hearing where it's coming from is confusing to you, because though you've rolled incredibly well, it's coming from all around. It's surrounding you, like a blanket. It's over the top of you, it's at your feet, it's to your backpack, it's everywhere.
As I guess, like, as I'm hearing it from all around me, I'm gonna kind of like walk in a small circle, or kind of like pedal back and kind of like try to guess where it's coming from as I'm saying this. Put my hand up. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Sasha, was it?
I'm sure the pleasure will be mine. Why
Lady
are
of
you
class, I like that.
here? Why are you here, new boy?
Your friend Charlie sent
He's
us.
not my friend. He is my aide.
Your aide Charlie sent us. He said that he'd owe you a favor. Is that? I'm asking you out of game. He said that he would owe her a favor, right?
Depends on what you relay. Cort's there as well. He can help verify that.
I wrote it down in my notes, and I think I mistyped it. Damn it. Okay.
That information can be
Say,
incredibly important.
Charlie doesn't owe any favors to Sasha. Charlie owes his existence to Sasha. There kind of is no, hey, I'll get you one back, Sasha, for Charlie.
Gotcha. I'll just relay what I just said. Charlie said that he'd owe you a favor, but he directed me to you for a matter of assistance, we'll say.
Interesting. Very well. Why are you here? Under his guise of debt?
Well, to be perfectly blunt, I looked at a very particular, we'll say, jewel, and when I used magic to see what was on it, a bright flash hit me back, and I'm blind now.
And so you stared into the womb of the world, and now you cannot see.
I guess so.
Would be unfortunate for your fickle human eyes. You seem confused. Has the boy not told you of the den you've stumbled upon?
No, I just assumed we were walking down a flight of stairs into some basement or something.
You hear the shifting again of coin. The voice moves. It seems to radiate around you. I'm interested at what you are exactly. You smell of kin.
I'm just gonna kind of scratch my head, and wasn't always the easiest, but being what some of the not so kind people in my hometown called me a half breed, but story for a different day.
Bred with what half?
Dragon, I guess.
You say that with such distaste.
Not towards the dragon, no, it's just more of the implications it came with. Black dragon from a long time ago, my family's history.
Unfortunate. Well, it's unfortunate that you've been stricken with the weaker blood of my sallowed cousins. So you're here now? How can I? And she starts to shift closer. Cort, what you see is very different. You see a dragon begin to manifest itself in its full form. But where you see this image sort of paint these beautiful scales and this almost unending arch in these claws that rake across and strip the gold from the floor, leaving these barren arcs of destruction. The claw turns into a woman's toe and then steps forward as this beautiful woman shifts before your eyes, completely naked. But then as she begins to take steps to you, wrappings begin to manifest and move beneath the gold, and it sort of spins and drums up around her as if it's cupping her every step and walk. The robes. What's wrong? How can I? And her voice shifts back to a normal tone. How can I make it better?
I was just wondering if you could direct me to someone that might be able to help me see again, honestly.
That's all. You've been stricken with a parlor trick, and you can't shake this.
Let's just say the situation up top seems to be a bit dire. I guess there's not many people
Don't
up
move.
there. I'll just stiffen up.
Cort, give me a perception, and then give me a sense motive. I know that at least one of them is not a great roll for you.
Joke's on you. Neither of them are good rolls for me.
Well, you do have one luck reroll. Okay, it's not terrible. Do you want to keep either of them, or would you like to reroll them?
No, I'll just keep it.
Okay. Cort, as you sort of look on and you watch, she's holding herself a little differently here. You think that the way that she's carrying herself, there's a sense of pity. While he can't see it, you feel like she sort of pities him. And you may not know all the words that she used, declaring the unfortunate relations to a weaker blood of sallowed cousins. You may not gather what that necessarily means, but there is a certain amount of pity that she carries in her physical form currently. And she draws up a single hand over your jaw, Daniel. And she spits in your face. Pretty much just like this glob of drool just right across the center between the eyes. And then she takes both of her hands and she starts rubbing that spit into your eyes.
Yeah, I was just like, boy, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
And it burns. It burns sort of like this strange menthol cool, yet cinnamon sting.
Scott.
It's like getting shampoo in your eyes.
I'm sorry, Miss Sasha, but is this supposed to be helping? It kind of hurts.
Everything hurts at first. You'll be fine, child. Takes a few moments, but she walks away. You hear the steps of the coins beginning to fall yet again. And she turns. She looks to you, Cort, and she nods. She says, in that almost bizarrely evocative and inviting tone that seems to bounce off of the walls, I'll be coming to you soon, boy. Don't think that I didn't forget.
I was a bit incapacitated and he's going to kind of look at his stomach, so I'm glad that I didn't miss what I owed you. I have a question, not necessarily one that you have to answer, but
as you're asking this, the robes seem to start falling from her body, showing this very naked like backside, and she starts to turn, and she lays in a way that seems like borderline inviting, yet at the same time her skin starts to overlap with these bizarre scales. Daniel, while your vision is not immediately clearing up, you can actually make out silhouettes and shapes now. It's no longer just this glow, but you're making out shapes.
Since I can kind of like see her, Miss Sasha, I really appreciate what you've done for me. Is there anything that you need that I can get you?
She fields that for a moment, tabling your question, and she wants to hear you out, Cort.
do you know anything about bloodstones or the vanishing?
That's an interesting series of words you've chosen. I know a few things. I'm familiar with bloodstones.
Ones that shoot out 20 chains?
Every door can have a lock. Some have locksmiths. Who is the smith to your locks? What will crack your problem? You say this so immediately concerning. Did you stumble upon a bloodstone?
We came across one and Ulhime got sucked into it, and it shot out a bunch of chains that had riddles in different languages, and we brought Keegan to come look at it, And now he's gone.
So you actually took a locksmith to see this bloodstone. And what happened next?
He touched it, and then he had a bloody cloth on his finger, and then the blood disappeared after he touched the gem with it, and then I pointed it out to him, and he tried to take off the bandage, and his finger was gone, and then he said it was the vanishing, and then he disappeared in front of us.
I cannot say that I am familiar with the vanishing. That is new to me. I'm new to this side of the realm. But I am familiar with bloodstones. You know what a bloodstone is? Or do you not?
It looked like it was keeping something safe, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Thelsa was going to use it for her Ruby convocation.
Would you like an in-depth explanation, or are you just looking for cliff notes?
Whatever you're willing to tell us, I'd love to listen to it.
Do you know how gems are formed?
By pressure?
And time, yes, that's right. Time and pressure. Can you guess why it might be called a bloodstone? 2 reasons, actually.
Is it because it was forged in blood?
Close. Human men called it a bloodstone because it responds to blood. And it only responds to blood because it is made from blood. Pressure and time is what made the bloodstones from the blood of dragons. The blood of my kin.
Cort's just gonna kind of look taken a bit aback.
You might understand why this may have interested me. You may have found some of my family. Tell me, Cort, what does this beautiful bloodstone look like? Tell me its rich color.
It was a deep red, and he's gonna kind of put his hands together. It was about this big. It was a really pretty gem.
Was it smooth?
I'm out of character. I believe it was not smooth, right? Wasn't it like?
It is smooth, yes it is.
Was it like a spear?
It's,
Right.
it's sort of like a large,
like a
sphere.
giant pearl almost.
Yep, sort of. Angular, but
Yeah.
yes.
It was incredibly smooth. It was like it looked almost kind of like a spear.
This is how I know that it is not of my immediate kin, more cousins. If it were rigid and sharp, like the blade of a dagger, it would be from a solid color. Red, blue. Eyes fall over Daniel. Black. Time and pressure forces our blood to take a rigid, spiked effect. Time when the realms Forget of the previous generations and build over the top, where dragons fall and the blood soaks into the earth. How large is this bloodstone?
Cort will, like, hold his hands up with the size of it.
That's quite a substantial find. Listen, Cort. I think I've discovered what it is I would like for you to bring to me. I want this bloodstone.
Ho, 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 who's this?
And if Thelsa were to throw a fuss, I can replace it with a more simple, smaller ruby. One not made of my kin's blood.
Is there a way to grab it? It seemed pretty stuck in place with the chains.
Find a locksmith, boy. I've only told you exactly what I've wanted, and how to free yourself of my debt, and I'm feeling generous. I'll remove the extra debt to Charlie Miles. Speak with Thelsa. I know a small amount about this coronation process. I've even spoke with Ouijas myself from time to time. Power respects power. And what a unique situation to find yourself in when your own convocation is blessed with the fire of one of the oldest remaining red dragons in the land.
Cort will just kind of give like a tiny bow.
Leave this place, boys.
Cort will start heading up the staircase. He knows not to dwell too long.
I'm gonna hang back for like a quick second.
You feel the shifting again of the coins.
Miss Sasha, I was just wondering, are my kind considered something bad?
Leave.
Yes, ma'am. Just gonna try to, I guess, see where Cort is and follow him as best I can.
You can see the silhouette, the shape of him at this point, and anytime you glance back, the platform seems to get a little more faint with every step. But you have no doubt that you can see something swimming in the depth of the darkness. It doesn't quite look as if there is a creature waiting out there, as much as it may just be the rest of Sasha, or whatever her real name actually might be. You find your way back to the surface. And the moment that you hit the lip of that darkness, everything changes yet again. Music, all too familiar. When you pass by the curtain, Charlie is just getting it. You've not seen someone of this size and stature throw that ass in a circle as keenly as this man. He's going hard. And lo and behold, he's not alone. A woman stands there. Well, she seems to sort of be shaking back and forth, but I'll let you describe. What exactly seems to be happening with Thelsa?
Intense finger wiggling.
You're muted.
I'm gonna try and mimic his dancing, just not to the extent that he does them.
Okay.
Because I suspect he'll peer at me. I'll peer at I expect he peers at me through his mask every now and again, and I don't want to be standing still.
Sure.
So like less dramatic, but I'll try and mimic him because frankly I've never danced, and I don't know if I'll ever dance the way I danced with Charlie Miles.
I was about to make that reference, so I'm glad you beat me to it.
Okay. You see the boys. You see the two of them, Daniel and Cort, appear around the corner.
Hey guys, can I see them clearly now that we're in the light, or is it still a little fuzzy?
I mean, you can see them. You can see them. At least you can make out that it is this man. And you can see the woman. The colors are a bit more familiar. You recognize the voice when she speaks. But outside of that, I mean, it's just these two.
Hey Thelsa, Charlie, good to see you. Gonna kind of chuckle at that one.
Thelsa, anything?
Nope. I'm gonna halt my dancing and step forward. So I hope it was a nice visit.
It was interesting. We can kind of solve all of your group's problems, not really my problems. Your group's problems.
Yeah, Cort's gonna look Thelsa in the eye. Sasha wants the ruby.
In return for
She
nothing?
said no, you know Sasha. There's always something.
Yeah, but you were a favor, and I'm worried that her favor is just to bring it back.
There's that. And she said she'd give you a better ruby.
Something smaller.
Something with her blessings.
Why does she want this ruby?
Turns out the bloodstones are dragon's blood.
And when you say that, the mask flies down immediately, and Charlie cans the music, and his eyes are wide. Panic is stricken all over his face. His teeth are just like waiting at the edge of the lips. I should do something else. Anything else.
You all right, Charlie? You seem a little flustered.
Did she ask? Did she ask for it? Or did she?
She wants the stone, yeah, the one that I described to you, the one with the chains and
All in my
everything.
favor.
Did she demand it?
Yeah.
She said
Well.
Thelsa would throw a fit over it, but
From one person to another, you should find haste in the retrieval of this object. I fear for your immediate survival.
Cort's gonna kind of look at Thelsa.
I mean, you're welcome to go back. I would like to speak to her about what I learned at the mayor's office, mayor's residence.
What did you learn?
Well, the mayor does know a little bit about bloodstones, but he doesn't want anything to do with it, and he wants us to leave it alone.
That's kind of hard considering where it is and
Yeah, and that
of it.
yeah, he said that it would be better off if we didn't release these plagues, and instead we just left Ulhime in there forever.
Cort's gonna just kind of scratch his head.
Yeah, that's why I'm here and not back there, covering it up with a blanket or something.
Sasha doesn't know how to unlock the thing or to do anything with it. But
I mean,
she said she wants it once we have the ability to move it again.
we know how to unlock it. We just need to figure out what it wants and feed it the blood of whomever.
I mean, don't we still got to figure out that situation with your friend? I mean, he kind of just two friends of yours disappeared. Your friend Ulhime and Keegan, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, if we don't have the stone, how are we going to figure out how to get them back?
I mean, I suppose if the two most intelligent people in Cauldron that I know of are the mayor and Sasha. If they can't figure it out, and the mayor wants us to leave him in there, and if Sasha wants it, maybe we can come to an agreement. And a partial side of that would be releasing Ulhime to us if she manages to figure out how to get the things out of it.
Hey, Charlie, quick question.
You glance back, and he's just like, the paramount fear is his mouth is again. It's like watching, like, you've ever seen a cat who smelled something that was fucking weird to it, and just like,
Yeah.
that's how he is right now.
Miss Sasha, how far does her power reach outside of this town?
You remember the burnt down part of town?
No. I mean her influence, her word. How far outside of this town does she influence?
Well, are you speaking physically or socially? Metaphorically, metaphysically?
Let's say all of the above. How?
Yes, she has influence. You could say that.
Thelsa.
She's been around a long time. A very, very long time.
I think I know a way that we might be able to make a compromise. Thelsa, I'm gonna want to go back with you when you talk to Miss Sasha.
I would not suggest it. Typically, after a visit, she doesn't want the people returning. Last time that happened, one of our allies got thrown across the room.
It's not necessarily more of a want, but maybe a need that she might have. I'm more curious about that.
If you relay it to me, I could chat with her about it.
Ask Miss Sasha if she might need a herald of sorts, someone that can extend her influence from beyond where she resides. I mean,
that's cute. It's cute. You don't know the power of reputation.
Yeah, she's old.
Yes.
And everybody knows about her?
No. She is only known by those that she wishes to know whom she is.
Why don't we extend that then?
She doesn't want everyone to know who she is. That's the point. Anonymity goes far. Consider her reputation, this mask. And he holds up the mask. Now, you see me now, and my handsome visage. Now, let's instill her reputation over this. You don't know what's quite capable behind the mask. You don't know how handsome I actually am. But if everyone heard what was behind the mask, then wouldn't you say that others would contest how handsome I might be?
I'm gonna look Charlie in his eye and close my eyes just like this, kind of show him. Charlie, this is exactly what you see here. Me blind is what the rest of the world sees as Sasha. I mean, how is she gonna have a reputation if people don't know who she is?
Right. Well, he's not getting this. She doesn't want the world to know of her reputation. Only those that know of whom she is understands and respectfully admires her from a distance. Consider Mr. Sasha like a bit of a flame. You can look, but you cannot touch.
Are there those that would try to cause her harm?
Oh, most certainly. But they don't live long. Instead of killing them, she simply eradicates the family trees. At the root. I understand that this is probably a bit difficult to grasp, as most in her position tend to strive for as intense, yes, we'll go with that, as intense of a reputation. They strive for something so exonerating. But she has watched cities rise and fall. And she has helped some of those same cities rise. And when they turn their backs, she allows them to fall. Sometimes with a mere breath. Now when you're playing outside of your wheelhouse, this might be that time. The fact that she's allowed either of you back, any of you, in any capacity, while knowing her secrets, is impressive. She's either losing it in her old age, which grants me an opportunity at finding my own freedom, or she's really fucking bored. I'm going to say that it is the latter. Be careful, gentlemen. You would not look nearly as delectable if you are crispy. As for you, Thelsa, I stand to say the same, but she has more of an interest in you. I think she'll eat you.
I hope so.
I think she hopes so, too.
More of an interesting way to go than being burnt to a crisp.
I would be inclined to agree. You know what it means when someone eats you, especially if someone of that size? It means that they first have to put their tongues across your genitals. It's the best way to go.
Not where I was headed. But I suppose you're right.
Well, if there was a way to die, I suppose that I would want to be filleted to death. I digress. Be careful. Now, if you don't mind, I have very important things to do. And he goes back to dancing.
Just gonna close my eyes and Charlie, you mind if and I'm just gonna gesture towards the beading curtain.
Go on.
Yeah, I figured that was the answer. I'm a head towards it and begin the descent.
Thelsa, before you go, let Miss Sasha know that if she ever needs someone, all she needs is a friend. All she needs is ask.
We're just gonna kind of pull.
Slave it is.
Pull Daniel by the sleeve.
when she says that, when she says slave it is, Charlie tugs on your sleeve and he goes, slave!
No.
Just give her my message, please.
Understood. And I'm just start heading down into the soppy dungeon.
Got it. This will be one of the last scenes. The last scene will end with Ulhime. So we're gonna take what you have here, and then we'll go to Ulhime, and then we'll round out our night tonight. I don't know if there's gonna be any cliffhangers. We'll see. Depends on the actions that you guys take in your short scenes. So
I stabbed Charlie in the face.
Wow, that would dramatically shift events in the town. Oh my god.
That's the cliffhanger.
Sasha would just burst from the ground.
Oh my god, that'd be miserable.
Well, you've been here before. You know how this works.
Yep. And as I'm descending, I will say, Mistress Sasha.
And you're met. You hear the voice call back out to you.
Thelsa. Welcome back.
I hate to bother you once more, but I heard of your proposal, and I'd like to talk with you a little more about it.
Sure. I'm interested in hearing what you might have to say. Did they tell you why I might want this stone?
They mentioned that Bloodstone was the I suppose, compressed blood of previous dragons.
Yes. Yes, you could see where that might draw my interest.
I would presume it's significantly more rare than just a ruby, and frankly, I can't begin to describe the dangers of throwing it into a fire, like at the end of the Ruby Convocation.
Of most certainty. If that dragon might still be alive, the flame would pull apart the scab. It would alert whomever it belonged to, if they were still alive. And at this point, with its sheer size, I would presume that it would be rather old.
I am uncertain as to who or what created it. When I was looking over the gem, it looked demonic in nature, but the most I've gathered from it is that it's woven in different types of magic, and when I visited the mayor, he told me to leave it alone.
It sounds like the mayor.
I figured. But he also mentioned a group called the Weavers, who would tie their magic in similar forms to this. And I see it as kind of a puzzle. And with your escapades with the cock goblin, I figured maybe you'd be interested in understanding who is inside.
Whom? You think that someone is inside?
I believe there's two people inside now.
Two? Oh.
When I originally peered into it, I could see someone chained up. It looks like tortured. I could hear his screams. And Ulhime put his hand against it and began to channel magic into it, and then his arm crumbled to dust and he ceased to exist. I can only imagine he was pulled inside of this bloodstone.
Why might you be interested in these weavers?
I know not of the Weavers aside from that they were in ruins that were below the city. Oh, what was the name of the dungeon that it was in? Casmogen? No.
No, it was not Casmogen.
No, that's the other one.
Drakthar's Way.
No.
Was it Drakthar's Way? No, that's the other one.
Malachite's Fortress.
Nope.
No, that's the other one.
Yeah, that's you're getting there.
Not
It's
the
been
Clockwork
said.
Citadel?
It's been said a couple of times today.
And it's not
Jizadrun.
Yeah.
Yes.
They resided within Jizadrun, and they believe that is where a curse upon the gnome people began that turned them all to ash, which we believe we restarted when Keegan Galv went and bled onto the bloodstone.
Yes, I was told. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry of his passing. From my understanding, he's been around quite a while.
He was the oldest gnome in Cauldron.
One of the last remaining, if I understand.
I believe that's the case. There's supposedly less than 1% of the population remaining of gnomes.
Wouldn't you say that's a drastic amount lost?
I would say that was, yes. Like, I don't know the purpose or what whoever these weavers were had against gnomes, but it seemed to only target them, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if you know anything about this vanishing.
No, I can't say that I do. But the weavers in question, They never involved themselves in the petty squabbles of the mortal races. They were timeless.
Do you believe that whatever the enchantments are on this bloodstone belong to them?
No,
Or do you think this is below them?
no, this is very by their design, but I'm afraid that this does not seem. It does not seem of their make. Why would they create something akin to this?
I presume it was to lock away these bad things from happening, but if that were the case, then why would they release it in the first place?
And you said that Keegan was lost.
Keegan Gelv, yes.
Then I suppose that you should start searching into the history of the gnomes. I know nothing of the vanishing, but a gnome might, especially if they're local, saying that they haven't vanished themselves. But if you were to find them, you might discover a secret, a lie, and a promise, a betrayal. Everything is done within reason. Thelsa, answer me this. Why does anyone do anything?
Personal gain? Depends on the person, I suppose.
And what do you think that they would do if a problem was presented to them that threatened their very lives?
They would vanquish it.
They might, yes.
Or hide it away.
Yes. If they could vanquish it, what do you think their cost would be worth? Do you think that they might destroy a friend? Kill their own mother?
I'm certain people would do worse than that.
Also, would you kill your own mother if it meant that you could save the rest of your family?
I don't know if that applies to me, but no. No, I have killed my mother and the rest of my family. Not of my own volition, but in fact, I would rather kill the remainder of my family to save my mother. In said circumstance.
But you would go to unthinkable lengths of which to save that which you love.
Of course.
Magic is words, runes carved into stone, written in ink. But magic written in blood, passion. That's more dangerous. When lives are on the line and they are fueled by more than personal gain, you wouldn't be shocked to know that they would flay their own skin if it meant that they could walk away. Find a gnome and figure out why. The moment you discern the why, you can learn the how. The when will come with time. But then you pose your own questions. What will it take to remove this curse, this spell of passion? And why was it so important?
I suppose I'll have to figure it out on my own time. I know how you value your own.
I do, but I value yours as well.
He's gonna let out a brief smile. Speaking of yourself, how are you looking, feeling?
I feel just fine.
When I took on the demon, whatever, it caused me to have protrusions, bones. I felt animalistic and a drive to be at the demon scar, and I was a little worried about you when it was transferred.
You don't think that I've changed?
I believe you're stronger than it. but it is stronger than I,
That
so...
is a safe assumption, yes. I am more experienced in the ways of survival. I've overcome great lengths of which to best the small putrescence. You are still but a babe.
And frankly, by the time I pass, I'll still be a babe in your eyes.
She slides from the mist, this nebulous void. And she says to you,
Look upon my gaze. Do you see anything concerning?
and you finally like catch this waft of wind before you see this snout erupt from the darkness. And it just continues to move as if someone or something is just pushing like a shipping cart. You know, like what you would see on the back of a train, right? Like those large scale shipping carts. It just starts shifting into view. And you see rows of teeth that seem to pierce the lips. Before finally, you see a single eye. But you don't see the rest of the head, and it's still in the same size as that shipping container.
I'm just gonna look into her eye. Define concerning.
You're staring into the face of a dragon. One of the few who have studied the ways of men. You have no concern. You have no care.
I'm honored, but I'm not worried. I know that if you had planned to kill me, or if I upset you, it's not in my power to stop it.
It's at this point that you catch this bizarre gleam. The little firelight seems to dance over her face. And when it dances, it sort of moves like lightning underwater. It starts to illuminate, and you realize that all of her scales are radiant rubies.
I want that stone, Thelsa. And I'll give you something more decadent. What time, experience, and pressure have created.
A single talon seems to slide up around you, and you hear this arcing series of bones sort of twist and model and knot, and it wraps you up, sort of like what you might expect an adult grabbing a small child, like up around the arms. And this claw pulls up under the eye and drags a single claw, hitting a single scale. And it falls to the ground, clanking, spitting coins out in multiple directions.
There is your ruby. Bring me any veil. Bring me a torch. And I will bless your church with dragon's fire.
Frankly, to me, your blessing and this ruby is worth more than the dragonstone, but I know, or the bloodstone, but to you, I understand it's worth a lot more. Sentimentally, of course.
Sentimentality is lost in the years. Eventually, necessity overtakes you, and you have to define what is valuable and important to you, and what maintains my interests. More than hobbies, it's following history. And there is history in that blood. Aid those two boys to bring me that stone, and I will figure A way to relieve at least one of the shackles.
I would like Ulhime out of there, but I suppose it comes down to who the other person is, and there's no way for me to ever figure that out. Not that I know.
If there's someone else inside of the stone, you should be asking yourself not whom is in there, but what is worth hiding. What might be worth locking behind? That series of history.
The head steeps low, and you hear the coins as it's dragging back out before it disappears back into the darkness. The coins continue to rumble and fall.
Does she still have that table next to her chair where she sits and stacks coins when she's in her human form?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the ruby that she dropped and place it on the table before heading out.
Okay.
Just so I don't lose it.
Sure. It's about the size of a dinner plate, and it's probably about as thick as, like if you put two human hands together.
She said it would be smaller, but it's definitely not.
I think in weight, it's probably smaller. It's compressed.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. But, yeah.
Okay. Then I'm assuming that you head out then.
Yes. I would wave her goodbye as she snouts her way out.
Okay. All right. Seems
And
good.
I'll head up the stairs.
And our camera shifts yet again. As it fades under the darkness and opens back up into a glowing, nebulous red, we find Ulhime sitting with Memory. Ulhime.
Yes.
The floor is yours. Is there anything you'd like to say or do? Anything that you may have drummed up as far as questions?
Ask what Memory's favorite ice cream is.
Is there a way to restore the Cathedral of Feathers? Were you there when it fell?
Memory not there. My memory not. No of cathedral, but not what? Where is?
It's in Occipitus. And as far as I'm aware, I actually control that lair with the smoking eye. And he kind of like motions. He tries to like move his neck to show the chain that he has the necklace of the smoking eye.
An amulet does not show ownership, but you need not for me to declare.
Necklace no make. Not yours. What's oxypiece?
Give me new memory. What is Occipitus?
So was it the 567th lair or something like that? 557th?
507.
500. Yeah. It's the 507th lair of the Abyss.
I was aware and know of the Cathedral of Feathers, but I know not of this lair of the Abyss.
Scary. More death.
Then what can you tell me of Ambarda?
Butter? How you know?
Embarta is the aspect of death, the pestilence that plagued the elves for generations.
Well, he's free. And I need to know what we're dealing with.
Maybe you find elves? You find elf and they tell. It's embodied like boogeyman.
Embarda is the thing of nightmares. Elves fear his return.
But outside of your memory, you've no way to stop him. No memory of defeating him.
Because he has been released means not that he is at full power. Embarda's strength lies in his wholeness.
Then where are his parts?
I know of only one. A secret kept within the walls of Cauldron. The tale of Embarda.
The tail, lion, the lake.
It's already been retrieved, then.
Then pray he does not find the others.
You gave tail back? No. Mistakes you have made. Memory no, like, seek this bad.
Not our mistakes, but ones that we still seek to rectify. Ulhime tries to stand up.
You succeed. It's not hard.
Is there no way for me to get out of here? Outside of waiting for these shackles to be undone?
You think if memory no, he not try to leave? Memory wish leave, but no memory get to.
We've been here for very long.
Is there any way to take you with me? So that way you're not trapped.
Memory wish that was way. Memory no one die. Memory no one die. But when memory go back, memory lose form.
I will cease to exist. Sentient from this figure. I will remain conscious, but as the living memory of Soraba Spellmason.
Is there no way to give yourself a new form?
There's a bizarre, like click spittle, like the.
No such thing. No such thing.
You would be trying to undo the magic of one of the greatest minds, most studious figures of likely your history.
I'm not trying to destroy it, but alter it. Very much like how one does with an idea.
I express to you the challenge, not that it's possible. I wish you well in finding it, but I do not think it is possible.
Have you tried?
I've been trapped here.
Trapped? Trapped? We stay? We cannot go. We stay here.
But you said that. You said that you've stayed. You never tried to get out then.
It is as Suruba. It is as he.
It's as he wished. We were to hide. The secret of his studies were to never be found.
Then if you yourself cannot go, what about changing the form of the hiding place?
When you say that doesn't really compute. Memory like doesn't respond. You just get like the grating noise of the ruby on ruby. Just this like it's not really computing, right? Like the idea is there, but it's never been explained or offered to them at this point. So the concept of it doesn't even like trigger a thought.
Yeah.
Remember, memory up to this point is a recollection of thoughts. Granting new and additional information probably won't inspire much in the way of a response.
Yeah. You yourself can take another form other than what you look like. Is that right, Memory?
Memory look as things do from memory. Can look like people that memory have seen, that Suruba has seen.
What about objects or other things? Can you turn into a sword?
You want memory be sword? Memory be your weapon.
And like the small ruby method sticks its arms out like he's a pickaxe and just kind of waits. It's it's sort of like a scarecrow of sorts.
Try to think, Memory. Visualize what the sword is and become that object. Can you do that or no?
Memory know what sword looks like, but it not work for you.
I can become many things, but you lack the arms.
Then can you become an arm then? Try to attach yourself to me if it's possible.
Memory pauses for a moment, and you see all 5 of the upper eyelids start to shift down.
Suruba, tell me this would happen. You won't take him. You no want free. You want Suruba. You bad man.
You've made a grave error. You'll no longer learn from memory.
And the figure starts to sift through the ground. The figure disappears before you. And you are left with a vacant hall. The doors closed. And the screams of Surabar Spellmason behind you as his body is rended repeatedly, time and time again. And this is where we end tonight's session. Sorry, folks. This is where we end tonight's session. Right there.
Damn. That was cool.
That was a good one.
We're about to unleash a whole lot of plagues on the city, and then I'm gonna have my Rubicon vacation.
We go flip over the whole city like it in a giant washing machine.
When Sniper gets back next week or the week after, whenever it so happens we play together, I want him to see if whatever was written in Gnomish, if there was anything, is gone. To see if it unraveled from the rubber band ball.
Well, we won't be playing next week. Next week is the off week.
It's the last meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But our return is the 7th. Will you be with us on the 7th, Innie?
I can tell you.
You said rubber band ball, and with this gem in particular, instead of that, you know those videos of the people trying to do the rubber bands on the watermelons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that to this?
Like we already are. Like we're not doing that already.
I mean, no, we don't have a whole lot of rubber bands attached around it, but
I don't know, man.
we could try.
I feel like the rubber bands are our responsibilities.
We're definitely not wrapping them around. What did you say?
I was like, you forgot my question.
Oh no, I intentionally didn't say it.
Boo.
I'm not letting someone else be enslaved by Sasha.
Not enslaved. It's not enslaved if it's voluntary.
I hope that the session was enjoyable. I know that it was a little different. It almost felt a little slower paced, and I recognize that. But I hope that it was good all the way around for you guys at the home place.
Hell yeah, I loved it.
I thought that it was fun. I thought they learned a few things, specifically from Sasha. They gained a few bits of information and some directions of which to lean. I think that is the first time that the players have seen, at least one of the players have seen the aspect and enormity of how large Sasha actually is. And I don't believe that any was expecting that. You're muted.
You muted it.
I presume we were talking about like a sea can, and that was just her snout.
Oh, sort of, yeah. It's akin to that. I would pull it up, but if you're familiar with what a large scale shipping crate would be like on the back of a train, then yeah, that's
sea cans.
That's what they're called?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because that's what they put on boats when they travel across the sea.
Gotcha. Yeah, we don't call them that here.
That's what we call them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, that, and then just an eye that would scale to the size of that face.
Sort of, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, that's
She's
how that should be.
She a thick mistress. She's been around a while. She knows a thing or two.
Man, I don't know that I'm ever gonna touch her tongue if she plans on eating me. She just breathe in and swallow me whole.
Tongue will hit everything.
Yep, just
Like
not
a
much.
possum.
She inhaled too hard and just killed you by accident.
Yep.
Feel like
Chad,
a
do you guys have any
roller coaster,
questions or concerns? Anything that you'd like to vent upon the players or myself? I'm definitely willing to field questions. It is a little later than normal, but I felt like because we started late, we had to run a little later. I hope that's okay. I hope nobody minds.
That's life.
Yeah.
The real question is, like, if I continue doing favors for Sasha and bringing her stuff, do you think I stand a chance with her?
What do you define chance?
Like, I don't know.
Chance of
her
survival?
No. Chance of a lifelong partnership.
Oh man. Oh man, she could teach you a few things. That's for sure. She could certainly teach you how to live longer.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Like eternity with her. That'd be great.
Yeah. It might be an out for you, right? It might be a thing for your particular character. What a better way to end your character's storyline than to go out being like the head matron of a church in Churchline that never dies.
Yeah.
That would be intense.
As long as I stand, this city stands.
Does the party have any honest concern for Charlie's slavery to Sasha?
Yes, Daniel does greatly, actually.
No, Charlie had to do something or get something big from Sasha in order to owe him his life, or she saved him. And either way, I mean, it's indebted servitude, and I don't know how long Charlie's been alive, but maybe that's his eternal life, is that, you know, this was the beginning of her life, and she took on a slave and then realized how bad it was to have Charlie around all the time.
It feels like it was always consensual with Charlie up until recently. Like a master-slave relationship where he was like, yes, hook me up to the car battery, Mr. Sasha, kind of thing.
I think Daniel is more he's interested in trying to get Charlie free, but from my view, I think Charlie knows a lot more than he's letting on, because like it's got like that like crafty thiefy kind of like vibe to him. So I was like, if I can free him, I swear like he's gonna either tell us like how to just like end Sasha, because he's probably researched that or knows someone that can do that, or he's probably gonna be like, hey, like I can bro deal you like a Gatorade like next week and you know help us out with something. Like not necessarily in that small of a factor, but like I feel like he's well connected to all the right people that we could probably use later on. So it's like
feasibly, but I think it's safe to assume that Charlie has some value. What the value is, not really sure. He's certainly charismatic. He may not be the most beautiful looking individual, but he's got spunk on more than just his lapel.
I like Charlie.
Yup. Charlie's pretty cool.
And he too, like the rest of the bright stars and cauldron, will be snuffed out by the darkness.
Stupid.
Daniel's second session in, and he's aiming to kill the ancient dragon. New levels of boldness in this group, right?
No, I'm actually not trying to kill Sasha. I don't know if I want to reveal that.
Charlie.
I want to free Charlie, but my intentions with Sasha are not to kill her, actually.
This is the first time that I sensed any concern about Sasha from Charlie. Charlie's he doesn't have any hopes of removing Sasha. He can't usurp that throne. You know what I mean? He's just a guy. But you got to wonder what Charlie did to fall into servitude to a dragon. And why is the dragon keeping them around?
Because she's
Test subject.
We figured this out earlier. It's because she's fucking bored.
Sasha too will fall to her own hubris.
Maybe?
Like the bravado of many dragons, they too forgot that the dragon has become extinct even in our world. When we learned to harness the power of fire against them. Freaking dope.
He's quoting movies again. This man's, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not too mad about it. You guys will figure out things going forward. It's inevitable, but tonight was a good bit of information dump. You didn't really achieve a ton, right? You haven't really achieved a ton in a short window, but Daniel has his eyesight back. Cort is closing out his debt. Thelsa is only making her lit party way more lit, and it's now going to have a ruby dragon scale and dragon fire at her own coronation, which is intense.
You know, she's technically a dragonborn from Skyrim.
And Ulhime is he's still armless and waiting. He figured out some things, but you may have the question that you posed at the very end did not land right with memory. You tickled the wrong angle, which was basically like, memory, my guy. What do you think about you hitching a ride on me? Pretend to be my arm, and we get out of here. I just want you to just leave this geezer, and then I'll have you to my own.
No, it was literally to get him out and then to like find Surabar's body. Because if we know where it's at, all I have to do is just be like, here, go back.
It's a possibility.
Hitch a ride.
That's literally what it is. I mean, I don't know if it was gonna work, but
sure. But like that's part of the system. The system is protect. Don't like it's like a mom telling kids like don't get any strangers' vans. Like you are the stranger with the van, and the original body expressed don't get in the fucking no-armed guy's van because he's gonna take you for a ride. So it's just protecting itself. It's protecting the only thing that it knows. It's basically like it's a computer program, and it's telling itself to hide away.
Yeah, you used the wrong keyword a few too many times.
Yeah, you forgot the magic word. You forgot the magic word.
Oh my god.
You clicked the Clippy icon again.
Yeah, damn it. I mean, every time. Clippy ruins things.
I'm curious though. Why did Sasha look at me with pity rather than just like any other person?
She's a red dragon. You're a black dragon. Red dragons are super prideful, so anything that's not red or gold, which they immediately hate, they're like, oh, look at them.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's such an adorable little weak.
You're like a little incapable baby.
When we saw the red dragon way back in the day, was that Sasha?
Might have been
Are you
Sasha.
talking about the one?
Might have just been a spell.
Yeah, when we had Crazy Jared.
Yeah, when we were out.
Oh no! That was not.
That was just.
That was not
just a
Crazy
random
Jared's hut. That was I can't remember his name. That was another
Was it-
dragon that torments the region.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I just remember it being red. I don't even know if it was a red dragon
I think
or
it was.
it was just like a black dragon that was like rolling around in some blood.
No.
Hanging
Void
around.
dragon sucked up a little too much blood. That kind of deal.
No, I think you guys, you that definitely was not Sasha.
We just flipped at the bird and walked the other way.
Well, I mean, Crazy Jared was Crazy Jared for a fucking reason. The guy had a Rod of Wonders, and he was casting it just like obliviously at the world.
Hey, he was just doing his thing.
Like, he literally built a house next to an area that is occupied by a like nine-headed cryohydra that is also being tormented by a dragon. He's like, now fuck this! This is my home!
This is my house.
He's just
Get
like
off my property.
flexing a Rod of Wonder everywhere. Like, how do you deal with that, man? You don't.
By not going anywhere near him.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
dude was
That was-
bonkers.
That was pretty much what we did. We just went down there,
We stayed
did
for a
what we
night.
had to do, stayed for a night, got the fuck out without talking to Crazy Jared again, because it was nuts.
He's
The
like
dude-
the kind
yeah.
of person who, when you're in New York, you just have to pretend you don't see him when you walk by him on the street. You just have to eyes forward.
Yeah, he reminds me of that that character. I forget the name, and this is gonna I feel stupid for forgetting this. What is the name of the Prince of Madness from?
Yogorath.
Yeah,
it's the
Shaggorath.
one on the deck.
Yeah, that's basically who Crazy Jared was. Like, not in enormity and power, but
Bubba Jack.
in
Just
absolutely like insanity. That's Crazy Jared. Like, it doesn't cross his mind that waking up and fucking with a cryohydra and a dragon at the same time is a bad idea
Probably
as a
not
human.
the best idea.
The dude is basically Nick Nolte. Okay, he's absolutely insane. All right, or
At
Gary
this
Busey.
point-
Jiggalad.
At this point, I'm thinking that they're both intelligent enough to realize that it's just some crazy guy waving a magic stick. And they're just like, man, I'm just gonna let him do his thing and see what happens.
The thing is, you never really know what a Rod of Wonder is gonna pop off with. Like, the dragon's gotta be like, all right, that guy's wearing his underwear on his head, but I know what that is.
Anyways, Brett,
I'm gonna
I
pass
know
on going anywhere near that.
What that fucking is.
stick to the enemy you know.
I'm just gonna snipe down like an acid boogie, like, and just like hope I crack him out one there. Yeah, I mean
You
that's,
can chow down on the Staff of Wonders and see if it can cast Staff of Wonder fireballs.
I would love that.
that sounds horrific.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially because you hit an area and then suddenly bears fall from the sky on top of them.
All I'm imagining is him shooting like a dragon blast and hits the floor, and then it's like oil. Like, just straight up dispel oil, and then suddenly 50 meters of oil just drop.
I broke out a bunch of voices today, man. It was hard to manipulate going back and forth between, like, I have so many dials that are set on voices, and I had to completely rechange my 4 separate times, and I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna do this on the fly? I gotta remember all these settings. Jesus Christ. So I hope that was at least enjoyable.
Yeah, that was hella fun.
I thought it was good. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did not, well, I mean, like, I'm sorry, I guess. I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you to enjoy something you don't like. If you want to hang out more, come check out the Discord. The Discord is there. It is available for y'all. Okay? We do lots of tabletop stuff. Plus, it is a place where you can go in and look for other tabletop gaming. We have an area that is dedicated specifically to that. If you want to see the stream alive, keep the dream alive, consider supporting on Patreon. Tonight's numbers were low, but I ain't mad about it. We started late. We started hella late. We started like 3.5 hours late. So, tomorrow, I got a couple of things that I got to do, but we'll be on for a normal stream. We're probably going to tackle Hades. Who knows what else? I don't even really know what's going on. I was getting ready for Baldur's Gate 3, but it got pushed back by a week, and I'm real fucking sad about it. So, probably some Hades. Who knows what else is going to happen? And Friday's a 12-hour stream. We're going to be doing lots of cool shit. So check out all these things. Come do the damn thing. If you've not heard about it, Stitch of Fate. It's a podcast that I'm a part of. Vampire the Masquerade. Myself, Little Red Dot, Gaming FTL, and Mark Meir. That is the voice of Commander Shepard. We roleplay as vampires in New York. Story is told by Mathis Games. It's good shit. You'll want to listen to that. We're quickly approaching 50,000 listens, so that's kind of huge. So do that, and we'll talk a bit later. No, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Mont, Sisla, Avenzi, Shalom, The Lost Games. There's some subs for y'all. Enjoy that. I love your faces. Do what you do. Stay safe, stay nerdy. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. We out of here.